Very shortly. In fact, we're going to head into Champion Select now as the bans have already been going underway between INTZ and Detonation FocusMe. So far, Zillion, Lissandra, and Siva being banned out on the side of INTZ, Alistar, Kindred, and Maokai being taken away by Detonation FocusMe.
Yeah, the mid lane ban, I guess, again, the Zillion standard, something that you'll become used to seeing. But the first pick from INTZ is something that I expected to be banned over Maokai.
Echo is going to be that first picker coming in here. The very tanky top lane carry that we've seen quite a lot, you know, builds a lot of resistances but can still stick to carries and burst people down quite effectively, and it's been running havoc in the recent patches of League of Legends.
Yeah, definitely has been an overwhelming champion, honestly, to say the least. Was banned in the last game that we just saw. Leaves open a lot of champions, though, with these targeted sort of bans that we're now seeing again out of both teams. The Zillion, the Siva, and Lissandra. Like, sure, the latter are two very strong champions. Lissandra, 100% win rate, as an example. But it leaves open that draft. Yep,
Bryce and Italy are going to be locked in by Detonation FocusMe, a similar combo that we saw from the Chiefs in the last game. Two very, very strong carries at the moment. And Italy, just one of those junglers that just clears the jungle in a blink of an eye.
And I found myself backpedaling so much now that I'm looking at a Rise Italy first rotation, because it's just never doing well. And that is such a perplexing thing to me, because this is the best combo as like a mid-jungle duo to like trap someone down as Rise, press W, the spear will connect, and then you just both have burst everywhere. And you can take someone down, but we just haven't seen it work out.
We'll have to see if Destination Focus can make that work, because we're waiting for INTZ to pick up their picks for the next rotation here. We saw the Kindred being banned out. Italy was the pickup coming for Death Focus. That means there's a few junglers left open. You have the Elise, you have the Graves, which is going to be locked in for INTZ here. He's going to be going back into the jungle, and they're going to lock in Thresh as well.
The Graves, I am just as perplexed. It's doing very well at the moment. In fact, Graves, whilst it's not meant to be as fast as a Nidalee, you're meant to get counter-jungled by said Nidalee and actually start to fall a little bit behind, maybe look for those ganks instead. It's been doing well. It's been somehow keeping up with said Nidalee. Yeah, it's actually just a very good draft.
This is another combo that has been doing very well in the tournament so far. Braum and Lucian, a very oppressive bot lane duo, and also two fantastic champions that's going to be picked up by Detonation FocusMe.
Yeah, the ability to stun somebody super quickly makes this bottom lane duo quite potent. You'll see a lot of damage that is still relatively scaling come out of Detonation FocusMe, though I do like this adaptation compared to what we saw from the Chiefs draft, because a bruiser, aggressive bottom lane is what they need.
They also are going to be hiding their final pick. Should most likely be a top laner coming for Detonation's FocusMe, but there is a possibility that we could see Rise being put up in that top lane. We saw that once or twice this tournament already. We'll have to see what they are hiding away from INTZ in their final pickup. But speaking of INTZ, they're looking to pick up their last two picks here to round out their team composition. So far, probably looking for an AD carry and a mid laner, unless they flex Echo into that mid lane. We'll have to see what they decide to lock in here against Detonation's FocusMe, and it's going to be Jinx and Zed, the pickup for the team.
Yeah, so Tuckers has been known as a Zed player. He has the LeBlanc Azir Zed as his primary options, but he's locked it in early against the Rise, knowing that it's there.
You mentioned that Tuckers, you know, plays a lot of control mages, might be able to control Ceros a bit. Is this another way to do it?
So one of the cool things about going the Zed into the Rise is that you generally force an exhaust. And by forcing that exhaust, you're taking away a teleport option. And that's actually a very big deal at the moment, taking away the teleport from the mid laners who, when top laners get dove, usually come to their rescue to save them. Not going to be able to happen this time around, so whatever Udapon picks, we want to hope that he finds some self-sufficiency there, something along the lines of that Nautilus that we saw as well last time, as Maokai's not there.
Spawners has spoken really highly.
Actually.
Spawners has spoken really highly of Zeds and LeBlancs and the LPL picking up teleports as well to kind of equal up that match pressure. So we'll have to see what he picks up. So far, he's going with the Ignite to put some kill pressure in. As Death Focus, they're going to lock in Fiora as their final pickup. They want blood in this game.
They pick up a Fiora into an Echo. That's a heavy hitting top lane and a lot of trading back and forth, but Fiora also very good at trading. Will be doing a lot of damage, and across the board from Detonation FocusMe, if there's one thing they've got, it's damage. And a lot of pick to complement that fact. Braum actually very important in their team comp.
Just so far, INTZ, they've picked up Echo in the top lane, Graves in the jungle. Zed is going to be in the mid lane here. They've got Jinx as an AD carry. This is interesting. We haven't seen too much Jinx as of late.
Yeah, we very rarely and sparingly see Jinx. I think there was one when there was a game where like 4 AD carries were banned in the draft. So think this is the second Jinx that we have seen at this tournament. Hyperscaling still does a lot of damage. The rockets as well for AoE. It's a good way to defuse the Ryze because you do outrange him. He has to actually try and get closer to you. If you're taking down a turret or you're getting a kill before that fact, then you get excited, you can run away and kite around teamfights very effectively against what is sort of like a pick composition. It's actually going to be quite hard to kill that Jinx as Fiora because they've got so much support.
Rounding out the team composition will be Thresh in the bottom lane as the support. You mentioned the Fiora on the side of DetonatioN. They have a very squishy lineup, you could say. Fiora up in the top lane. They've got Nidalee in the jungle. Ryze will be in the mid lane there. They've got Lucian Braum down in the bottom lane. You know, one tank, so to speak, in that Lucian, and everybody else just really wants to kill people for the side of DetonatioN.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is why I think the Braum's the most important thing for this team right now, because you need to actually be using your cooldowns effectively. Your spell rotation needs to be impeccable to keep everybody alive. Because yes, they're going to be doing a lot of damage, but they're all susceptible to going down. Echo's going to be able to take out most of the backline of your team, as is the Zed. So actually really important that the Braum shows up.
And this really feels like it's fitting Detonation FocusMe's playstyle or the way they want to win their game, where every single person matters. Everybody on their team has the potential to have a massive impact with these carry pickups. But as we load on the Summoner's Rift, we'll have to see if they can do just that with the champions they've picked up here so far. We've seen the 5-man fan out just to spot out any vision.
Yeah, pretty much everybody is doing a 5-man at this tournament, showing a lot of respect, and no invades have yet to really be seen. What this says to me, however, is that if people choose to lane swap, it becomes a guessing battle because you don't really have the deep vision that you want down in time.
We'll have to check in later if they decide to go for a lane swap between either of these teams. So far, actually looks like Detonation FocusMe want to throw their Lucian and Braum up into the top lane. Michael and Joxer very happy with being in the bottom lane for now, just sitting inside of that tri-brush.
And I think DetonatioN FocusMe are actually blind guessing that INTZ are actually lane swapping, and they're not. So they're going to start on opposite sides, and perhaps this jungle gets delayed by DFM because they're preparing themselves to late invade onto the Graves and the Echo.
Meanwhile, we should see Jinx and Thresh pick up a camp at level 1, so we'll be able to get a slight experience advantage. Revolta and Young will be working on the Grump, like you mentioned immediately. Lucian and Braum moving in towards that area. We'll have to see if they're able to get a disruption on to the camp that has been started by Graves. Has to smite away the Grump, immediately jumps over the wall, and is going to be moving to the opposite side of the jungle.
If their goal was to get the Grump away from a jungler, then they would have left earlier. So this, to me, just screams the fact that they wanted standard lanes on the opposite side and assumed that it was going to happen, as this is actually dangerous to catch.
Joxer going to
run he has to leave.
Yep, immediately. Nidalee's going to run away. Actually, popping potions already catch incredibly low. Nidalee tends to get low in this jungle.
So
good job.
Mistake number 1 from Thresh is he should have kept going to the wolves and pushed Catch out of the jungle. The fact that he can turn around now and get those wolves is a big mistake. It means they'll be able to go straight back to the blue buff if they want to and get that uncontested. I think they will work top side, however, as lane swaps suggest. You want to be on the top side to the turret by the time the minions crash.
Let's take a look at where things stand in this lane swap already. Jinx and Thresh are working on taking down this turret. Braum and Lucian still trying to push the minions as fast as possible to get that turret push going. The two junglers are working on their red buff as well, as Yang will be moving down into the bottom lane, working on taking down this outer turret.
Yeah, so we are actually going to start with a somewhat standard lane swap, though the Fiora is going to be delayed in comparison to that of the Echo, and Catch is going to be too low to do a single thing besides farm the jungle.
That also means that the mid lane between these two teams is completely isolated. Tokkers and Seros. It's a matchup we talked about before this game. Isolated. Tokkers is not on that control mage, now on an assassin. We'll have to see if they can still shut down Seros and still keep him controlled of that champion.
Yeah, it's going to be actually quite important. Seros, as we mentioned before, going for that exhaust against an ignited Tokkers though, so no teleports. Catch is flirting with death. That's all I'm saying. Like, he didn't go Scuttle Crab, he went blue buff.
Certainly is incredibly low. Had to pop a lot of potions earlier after Jockers were able to knock him out of his jungle.
Why did he not get Scuttle Crab first? Gives him health.
Still gets the blue buff eventually. He got there.
One of life's questions, I suppose. You do you, jungle man. He's still 6 CS ahead of Revolta, for what it's worth. Whilst they delayed each other's starts, and there was no blue, it's still in Italy after all. He's going to be happy.
Let's see if he can continue being happy and pick up more farm than Disgrace, or if Revolta can keep up and try and potentially overtake Catch or provide more impact to the map. But for now, we're going to see the second iteration of the lane swaps come through between the two teams. They're going to send their AD carries and supports to the opposite side of the map of where they started. So we see Jinx and Thresh up in the top lane. Lucian and Braum will be down in that bot lane already. Jinx and Thresh trying to get a very fast push going, so we should see another tower go down in just a bit as Catch making his way down towards the bottom lane.
But Echo's staying. I think he wants to try and get some wave clear in before it crashes, and Lucian's by himself. So after an extended period of time, you might see the Echo actually advance aggressively, but that's where they have the flank in place, yeah. So he just wants to do as much damage to minions as he can before the minions crash to the turret. It slows down the push, and look how far behind they are in comparison to INTZ.
That's right, Jinx and Thresh already working on that top lane outer turret, getting some.
He will get dove though.
Getting some decent damage onto it.
You'd think.
He's going to get jumped on by the Italy, who lends a nice spear there. Catch putting some work in onto this Echo. He's actually out of mana. The level 3 Echo going to have to sidestep as much as possible. Dodges that second spear, and will be able to get out of there alive. Finally, Detonation FocusMe working on this turret.
Yeah, and he's lucky he left when he did, because honestly, there was a real opportunity for him to die. They still start to make the trade in response here on the side of Detonation FocusMe, because it was only 2 people pushing. For INTZ, it's going to be delayed, but they've got such a big stack of minions that honestly they could continue to push.
Detonation FocusMe not quite able to get this turret during that wave. They do have a canyon wave coming, so they will be able to get it. Like you mentioned though, INTZ continuing this push up in the top lane. Zeros has already gone back to base, looking to try and defend this, but Revolta already putting some decent damage down onto this top lane in a turret. Joxer and Mikao are there as well, trying to chip it away wherever they possibly can. Zeros will eventually pick up this wave for himself as the Jinx takes the Dark Passage away to safety. We'll have to see if INTZ decide to go to take down Herald next.
Yeah, and well timed from Zeros to catch the entire wave. I believe INTZ should go towards the Herald, but without vision or any kind of knowledge of where the Nidalee is, and even the Rise, they actually show respect and do not go for that.
And let's touch on that mid lane really quickly. I haven't looked at it just yet. It has been isolated for this entire game, but no action taking place so far between those two mid laners. Tyr picked up for the Rise already, so we're going to start stacking that one, whereas a lot of respect from Tokus picks up that Hex Drinker as his first item.
Yeah, they're both looking to, one looking to scale, one looking to do the same thing but not die to the Rise, who has an abundance of burst. Hex Drinker probably the only item that he would effectively need to deny that as well, and it's a really good build path for Zed, getting extra flat armor penetration against the champion who does not go armor early because he needs a Tier Rod of Ages and to complete those 2 items.
And looking at the rest of the items for now, Cull being picked up by both the AD carries. Lots of long swords across Graves, Zed, and Lucian as well. Both the supports picked up their sight zone, so going to be able to put some vision down inside of the jungle and rivers of both the opposite teams. But Echo, he's decided to pick up a Sheen as his first item, not going for the Balmy Cinder or the Spirit Surge very early on, instead going for that aggressive item first.
Yeah, everybody goes a weird, different build path occasionally. You know, Sheen gives a bit of cooldown reduction. It makes his wave clear perfectly fine. It also means that when he hits structures, he'll be doing a lot more damage because the Sheen is the structure killing aspect. He's dead.
Oh no!
Oh, he flashed.
No!
You know what? He got it.
I don't want to watch.
No, he got it.
Close my eyes.
So that was one of those moments where you press all of the buttons you have because you don't want to die. And one of them was a smite. So it worked out.
Oh, I didn't want to watch. I thought he was dead.
He flashed to where the Herald was, so it looked like he died. He didn't die at all. It was glorious. Oh, he flashed though. I guess he's got his keys the wrong way around.
Uh-oh. Not good for Catch if that's the case.
He's still jungling.
Flirting with death? Die. You mentioned it. Oh no. That's good.
Die.
Would he get it?
Yeah, he'll get it. He spent the whole game doing that. I'm so perplexed. You're in Italy.
Isn't that what Nidalee's
Make the Braum
meant to do?
tank the Herald. Did he at least get, yeah, he got the Herald buff at least.
So that's good.
Greedy is what he is being. Like, if there was any respect or lack of respect from Revolta, perhaps, if they had deep enough vision to spot him, which honestly they did, because there's a pink ward just above his red buff. They could have invaded. They could have tried to take him down. Because of this lane swap, because of the freezing lanes that they're currently putting in place, they're not pushing the lanes, they weren't able to punish Catch, which more than once could have happened. Like even at level 1, if the Thresh just stopped them from doing Wolves, would have slowed down his jungle clear.
The Volts are trying to steal away this blue buff. Ultimate not going to be enough. Catch is able to swipe that one and take it down. Saros, though, doesn't get the blue buff for that. Was walking over trying to get the Donator blue from the Nidalee.
Yeah, which is important because that's like potentially 2 minutes off the tier timing. They don't shave any of that off. They actually take a while to get it down now.
And so far, very even between these two teams on Summoner's Rift. It's 14,000 or 15,000 gold each. 2 turrets apiece. No kills or dragons being taken just yet. The only difference you could possibly see is Catch was able to pick up the Rift Herald, but that hasn't had any impact on the match just yet.
There is CS values, though, incrementally going up for INTZ across the board. The top lane and AD carry in particular is where they're starting to get the benefits, and that was because a big freeze from Mikau lasted an extended period of time.
Good Jinx Trap's going to slow down
Yeah,
Catch here, but he gets
caught.
the door. The Spear's not going to land. There's the Dark Passage to get him to safety.
That was great. The ward that was placed on top of the lantern stopped Mikau from moving. Like, he potentially could have got caught out of position there, but he gets out okay.
The wards, they no longer block that Dark Passage, but
They make you right-click it, though, instead of the Dark Passage.
makes you auto-attack it, try to kill that ward if you're not already standing on top of it.
You have to tilt move onto it.
Still able to get out of there. Burns the flash. But still safe for now. So we take a look at his CS advantage. He's actually being caught up by Zeros down on the bottom lane. The Lucian's being able to claw that one back. BF Sword and Azil being picked up already by Mikau. Probably going to go for the Runon's Hurricane with that BF Sword. That's a build we see a lot of Jinx pick up very early on.
Yep, get that extra wave clear. One rocket, if it crits, could clear the entire back line. So Mikau and Zeros both now catching up, you know. Things are starting to even out. And now, I guess the mini game has ended, where the lane swaps have broken out. And we recede back to a standard League of Legends map.
So far, Detonation FocusMe, they've come out on top with this lane swap for now, about 700 gold ahead of INTZ just through passive play. So doing a decent job so far on this map. The Brazilian lineup, unfortunately, hasn't been able to make any proactive moves just yet, but both of them playing that lane swap rather well. But it's just a little bit of a lull in the game for now. We have to see who makes the first aggressive move. Catch, he's trying to move down to the bottom lane. The pink ward did spot him out, which he did not notice hiding in that brush.
He doesn't care.
Gonna go aggressive. Throws out the spear. Not gonna connect with the Echo. But Revolt is here. They're gonna try and fight over this Krug for now. It will be going on over to Catch, I believe.
Yeah, it goes to Catch. They knew he was coming through that pink ward you mentioned, but Catch doesn't actually care. Like, the idea was he was already out of position. There was no turret to keep him alive. So doesn't need to do the ward clear on his way past in a ward that isn't going to be an active movement, so only the tri-bush was checked. You would hope they go back and start clearing out the vision now and consolidating that fact, but they start to recall. INTZ are now just going to assume that they are perpetually in their jungle throughout this because of that.
And that's going to slowly give Detonation FocusMe a slight advantage. They've already picked up a 1,000 gold lead after the lane swap was neutralized. They're looking towards this mid lane now. Catch, gonna turn into human form, throws out a spear, hits Lavolta, but that just gives them some time to get some damage down onto the turret. But Zed and Graves able to wave clear effectively underneath here and keep it alive.
Yeah, chipping away at the turret though, and that was actually a very clever movement to the middle lane. I will say, however, very obviously translated. And INTZ were even pinging their movements. So safe play from Zed as is expected. They get themselves out fine. And it wasn't a lot of damage really, but it was some. And it could influence later in the game.
Catch gonna once again try and focus on the Rift Herald here. This time probably won't die to it as it slaps him a couple of times. User point is gonna be his savior for now. Once again, not tanking it out for it in Italy.
It doesn't want to like let him tank. There we go. You could see like the micro movement that Catch was making where you hit it and then you walk away and you hope that it changes aggro. That Rift Herald just does not like him.
He hates Catch, apparently. You know, he's killed them all this game. INTZ.
Well, if someone's hitting you with a spear, you're not going to be a fan of them.
Wouldn't be too happy.
To be fair, there was a sword on the other end of him. I don't even know. It's like a what came first, the chicken or the egg type of thing. What's worse? Sword or a spear?
I think they're, you know, both sharp, pointy things. Don't like either of them.
They both suck.
Rift Herald not having a very
Same
good
concept.
day.
What came first, the chicken or the egg? Both edible. Doesn't matter. Yeah, I don't know. Just cast the game, dude.
Yeah,
I don't know how early it is.
Very, apparently. What?
I don't know.
Oh, goodness, Rusty, please don't change. You have the best analogies. As we are going to go back into this game for now. INTZ able to claw back that gold lead slightly, but it's just been very quiet between these two teams after that lane swap. The only thing that's really been focused on that's been different between the two teams is Detonation FocusMe so far taking away a little bit of the jungle away from INTZ, putting a lot of pressure down there, but INTZ just retreating, giving it up. And they took the Rift Herald twice so far as well. No contention going on over to the Dragon between the two teams. Pings are going down onto it for Detonation FocusMe. But so far, nobody looking to try and take that one down. INTZ now, they've got some wards inside their jungle to try and prevent this nearly from going back in there. Just as I say that, Dragon is being contested. Cash and Eternal trying to take this one down. Joxer trying to stop them from doing just that. Dragon reset for just a bit, trying to pull that one back out.
There's only the two of them, yeah.
Door is up, going to try and stop Jinx from throwing out a rocket here, but it will go down. It will be Nidalee does get the smite. The box comes out of Thresh here, but doesn't get anything for it. The first Dragon goes over to DetonatioN FocusMe.
Yeah, so I was about to allude to the fact that INTZ have done nothing this game besides watch the map happen. There was no proactivity, there was no movements that were going to secure them anything, but finally they start to group.
They got a hook onto Ryze, deciding not to go in for the flay. Brom's ultimate will come out and lock down Revolta for a short amount of time, but DetonatioN FocusMe get their job done, just want to defend that turret.
Yeah, so nothing actually comes from that. These two are going to be locked down, however, so the mid lane is always going to be an avenue of attack for INTZ to look towards. With the Ryze and Lucian sharing farm, it's actually a better situation for the Brazilian team overall, as they can put Zed down here.
Tokka's going to be split pushing away from the team. Doesn't have that teleport like we mentioned earlier. That Spawn is very highly fond of in the LPL. Has that ignite, able to put some extra kill pressure on whoever is sent.
See, I
to
understand,
match him.
like, being fond of the teleport on assassins, but at the same like vein, I would rather just have a kill summoner on an assassin.
Well, he's got that.
Because the point of the assassin is to kill someone.
So far, not doing a very good job at that. As Tokka's, he's currently 0-0-0 for now. Not quite able to take down Seros in that mid lane or pick up a kill during his split pushing. And let's talk about that very quickly, as unfortunately we have some technical difficulties that we're trying to resolve for now. Tokka's in the mid lane as we go back to game. Tokka's in the mid lane hasn't been able to really shut down Seros in any way. That's a lane that we look to him to do just that.
Yeah, it's still going to be a tank Ryze, basically, right? Like, there are very little ways for a Ryze to ever die, because you can sit back and just machine gun with your Q to last hit minions anyway. And Tokka's, whilst he does a bit of damage, he went Hex Drinker first, so he didn't actually have any raw bonus damage to take him down. Honestly, the kill threat is lacking at best onto this Ryze. There's very little ways to take him down, especially because he's had Exhaust, he's had Flash, he hasn't had to use either.
We'll have to check back in with the game later to see if that's going to impact the map at all. See if Seros can get the ball rolling for DetonatioN FocusMe. As the Hurricane has been picked up by Jinx already, waiting to pick up his Infinity Edge as well. Only started with that BF sword, but we'll give them some extra wave because Yang, he's going to get jumped on by Usaborn here. Deep inside of DetonatioN FocusMe's jungle, going to get locked down.
Yeah, ult that.
He's going to try and jump over the wall there. Goes to...
Baited.
Yep, ult just gets him back there. And Catch just runs away. Dark Patch is going to be enough to get the Echo out
Yeah,
of
the
there.
cavalry kind of arrived for INTZ's top laner Yang, but the bait and switch from the Echo was very clever. I think it was almost predictable how clever that was, because what Udapon should have done was just not gone over that wall. He had Catch coming around. He should have waited 4 seconds because it was the wrong side of the map for Echo anyway, and then baited him in.
Fortunately, INTZ. Oh, sorry. Unfortunately for DetonatioN FocusMe, they're going to kill, and that's been the story of this game so far. Nobody wants to die. Tokka's now duking out with Seros, puts the shadow over the wall to get out of there. No Baron in that pit just yet. 18 minutes into the game, 2 types to 2, no kills yet, but a Dragon and all the Rift Heralds on over to DetonatioN FocusMe so far.
The Rift Heralds haven't even amounted to anything themselves either. That's the thing. Like, both of these teams are either showing too much respect or they just don't know what to do. And you can look at the vision on the map that the Brazilian side has. 4 pinks. Like, they should be able to do anything they want, but they're opting not to do it. And to me, that's just because they have the Jinx composition. They want to split push with the Zed, they want to scale, and they want to try and get the ball rolling for their team. And that is as good as it is bad, because then you're just challenging Japan to a mid-game fight, but you're also challenging a Ryze, Nidalee, Fiora to a mid-game fight. Even Lucian, who'll have his items. And that could completely backfire.
And you know what? This scares me a little bit a little bit for these two teams because Detonation FocusMe and INTZ play the similar way against some of the top teams in the IWCI groups right now. Supermassive yesterday, this is how Detonation FocusMe played against them, and they were just able to suffocate them slowly, but because both the teams are doing it this game, it's just kind of a stalemate for now. Whoever blinks first, whoever makes the first move might get an advantage, but neither team really wants to just yet.
Yeah, it's a very weird thing. Honestly, I feel like there should be a lot more proactivity out of the side that has the Zed, that has the Echo. But Nidalee doing better this time around. That's a big talking point. You have to remember that the Rod of Ages already completed early and farming up super well, doing better than the Graves is.
20 CS ahead of Revolta, so
yeah. But that's because there's no real invades happening at all, and Nidalee will naturally farm a little bit faster as Herald goes back to his vacuum, apparently.
Goodbye.
Sounded like a Harry Potter spell. Vacuo. I know that's not how you say it, but that's what it sounds like in English, okay?
Eternal, he's going to
Nice
get
hook.
hooked up here. Eternal might be the first person to go down. It will be.
Damn.
Thresh picks up first blood for INTZ. They find a nice pick in the river.
Yeah, Jockster has hit the minimal hooks that he has thrown out as he's, oh, there he goes again.
Ooh, wanted another one there. Zeros is able to just dash out of there. Mid lane turret taking a little bit of damage, but that FocusMe able to defend it for now.
Yeah, they hold on, but still that pick actually quite crucial. You would imagine they look towards this mid lane again. We also saw the makings of the Jinx Thresh. That very potent together if the hook connects. It's similar to the old Tarek Caitlyn in that respect, and the Tahm-Kench Jinx of last year's Worlds.
We talked a little bit about Detonation FocusMe having a lot of scaling, especially with this Rise. He's already going aggressive against Tokas here. Look at Echo. He's going to try and dive back in. Deathmark is popped onto the Rise, just going to do a little bit of damage. But he's able to get out there alive.
Yeah, and flashed out, naturally, to get himself to safety. He was looking to be aggressive and advance onto Tokas, as is expected, honestly, of this Rise. But backfires because Echo's nearby.
You know what? This Det lineup, they have a lot of carries that can scale into the late game. Fiora, Nidalee, Rise all scale really nicely into that late game, but you look over at the side of INTZ, this Jinx has benefited really well from the early game. Already picked up that Infinity Edge and the Hurricane and got another turret for themselves as well.
Like, so the way that I look at this is the scaling is in different areas from both of these teams. Seros on the Rise in particular will have a lot of scaling as another hook.
They find Catch, going to flay him backwards, is able to flash out of there. Eternal now coming in. They're going to try and turn this one around. Jockster, he's the first to fall in this fight. It's Culling will be coming out chasing that Revolta
Nice
spear.
spear.
Will be connecting. Catch not going to be able to get that kill, but Lucian picks up the double, and Det FocusMe fight back.
And a well-timed crit, I will say, from Zeros secures themselves the second kill. With those kills, they'll get the dragon, and that is their second. So still well and truly on track towards one of their potential ways to win this game. And they open the map up a little bit more for themselves, but this time it was on the back of a mistake from INTZ, where they get a hook, and they think that hook is a kill based off their last one.
And with this turret, they should be about 2,000 gold ahead of INTZ for now. A decent gold lead 22 minutes into the game, and the first real lead that we see between these two teams in this match.
Yeah, and absolutely still scaling. That's the thing. So once I was like, what I was touching on is the fact that Jinx is going to be big, as you mentioned, but Rise is going to be just as big, and one can kill the other a lot more handily, and that's if Rise can get in range of the Jinx at all. He's going to be able to handle split pushing, but this is where the wild card comes into play here, is that Zed's going to split, and you would imagine Echo is doing the 1-3-1 with them as well. And they've got a Graves and Jinx to wave clear, and it'll probably force Detonation FocusMe to respond to that by matching it. Rise not having the teleport means that he can't actively participate, and as the scaling member of Detonation FocusMe, you would think that's where the Brazilian side goes, with a split push.
Let's see if they do just that in this matchup.
They're a split pushing team as well. That's what they're known for.
They're going to continue to split push. Jox is still up in that top lane, so Jox is in this mid lane. That's not Joxer, that's Tokas.
Close.
Up in the top lane.
Toxsters.
One word. Oh, one letter. Sorry. We're close.
Something like that. Zerost and Seros as well. Good luck.
Oh, Rise going to try and chase down Tokas. He's just going to be able to put that shadow down, get out of there in the top lane. Still continuing this very slow game between INTZ and Detonation FocusMe.
You ever thought about how cool the name Eternal is as well? Like, he was called Vivid before he was called Eternal. This guy's names are just amazing.
On point, basically.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that really quickly, because you just saw right there, Eternal and Catch in the mid lane together, hand in hand. That's kind of been what they've been doing this whole game so far. The jungler support, holding hands, roaming around the map, finding picks wherever they possibly can for Detonation FocusMe and defending their objectives together. Yeah,
and you might even say the lane swap is actually a helping factor in that particular endeavor that they wish to venture on together. Catch and Eternal, known as the Svenu duo, should be playing together, and they are. And at the moment, they're doing well against the Brazilian Rustars. Ooh. RNG just favored him.
Catch gets it. Good job.
Yeah, but it was pushed into by Graves Auto. So I'm not sure if he's aiming for that or if he's a genius.
All planned, you know?
Yeah.
Calculated decisions.
Absolutely. I'm going to give him benefit of the doubt and say it absolutely was.
That's the way.
He's a good player.
Yep, good players. Crit more and apparently can steal Raptors that get knocked back as INTZ.
Better skill shots.
INTZ now trying to look for a dive here onto Fiora. Parallel conversion does come down, but Catch is going to throw out a spear to try and get some wave clear against this. Heals up the Fiora slightly as well. Once again, just very passive between the two teams, looking to try and find an advantage wherever possible.
Yeah, I like the Fiora's also got the Tiamat as well. The wave clear now to somewhat at least match the power of Yang, who has gone for the Iceborne Gauntlet build first with Bambi Cinder. So there's a lot of wave clear on the Echo, which does indicate that he wants to control minion waves, which is where Fiora, generally speaking, can't keep up. But now the Tiamat has been reverted back to its former strength. And that is every auto attack wave clear. Oh.
Almost.
See, if it hit minions, you would have had it.
But
that's where you went wrong.
Doesn't. He's got to hit the Lucian. Just sidesteps it. Now, we talked about the Tiamat on the side of the Fiora. Let's look at the items on the side of INTZ. They've got 3 Quicksilver Sashes being picked up already and an Aegis of the Legion on Joxer. They don't like the magic damage coming out from Rise and Catch.
So there's a lot of cool things behind the QSS and how it interacts. So Fiora is actually the primary get rid of the ultimate champion with the QSS. Rise as well, the lockdown isn't always there, but you can more predictably QSS and get yourself out. There's the Braum stun that can be capitalized on by a Lucian, and I believe the Hunted passive from Nidalee, if the spear connects, cannot be followed up as effectively. So there's a lot of things there that are small details, but if you time it well, it'll be a big deal. In particular, Echo having his, that's for Fiora. The Zed having his, that's for Rise. And then Macau having his, that's for all of them.
You know what, Detonation FocusMe following that same trend. Fiora's got that Quicksilver Sash, so does Lucian, but they're going to try and jump onto Eternal, pops down the ultimate. Joxer
nice hook.
Will land that hook, should be able to take down this Braum, and it will be the Thresh that picks up the kill. Very bloodthirsty support today.
Yeah, you just stop hitting them. Like, come on, that's like support rule number 1 if you want to give people kills. Hello.
Meanwhile, Tokka is able to pick up a solo kill onto Fiora. Going well for INTZ so far, and they're going to look to try and push for this Baron. Another hook's going to land. Going to try and flay back Catch. Forces the flash coming out from Nidalee.
They push them off.
It is very low as the spear's going to come down. Yang actually going to take a little bit of damage from Seros. It has to pop his ultimate to run away. Another spear connecting for Detonation FocusMe. Able to knock them out of the Baron pit 3-on-5.
He's not done. Catch is a monster on this Nidalee.
He's playing well.
Yeah, he absolutely is. And whilst 2 people are dead, they can still push them away from the Baron. It's 27 minutes in the game. But they don't really have that dedicated tank with Echo not having full HP to lock it down. So they push him away. They do well.
That was the split push paying off as well from INTZ, although Detonation Focus won.
So what they're doing is they're not just split pushing as one person. They've got 2 people. Like Zed's going to be in the lane, then you've got Yang just randomly appearing saying hello and trying to fight someone.
And it's working out for them so far. It was very quiet between the 2 teams forever. And then Yuzupon just got solo kill coming out from Tokka there. And right before that, we were talking about that Quicksilver Sash. Also picked up on the Fiora, also picked up on the Lucian. Probably going to try and get rid of that death mark being popped there. Wasn't enough for Fiora. What still got taken down. Perhaps that would be the trend coming into this game. So INTZ looking to do the same thing that they've done this entire match.
It sums them up nicely, doesn't it? It's a battle of defusal. Who can win the quickest or who can lose the slowest? It's kind of like the battle that we've got right now. Bit unusual.
Very, very quiet for now between these 2 teams. Yeah, that's been the story of this whole game so far. Dragon is back up and available. Detonation FocusMe do have 2 right now. Could possibly look to try and take the 3rd. Yusupon's going to be split pushing up in the top lane. Is up against Yang this time. No Zed to fight him. He's actually going to try and fight out the Echo here. Parallel conversion does come down. Gives him a little bit of a shield, but that's about it.
Just butting heads. But naturally, Yang doing quite well, finding himself a slight CS advantage. But I mean, across the board, things are starting to close, and if not get increased by Detonation FocusMe. Number 3 has been started.
They're looking to take it. Once again,
Ints
Thresh
want to fight.
trying to go for it. Graves going to come in. It will be Nidalee that picks up the kill, but a good hook will land onto Eternal one more time. Teleports are going to come in, lands onto a Jinx Rocket. The challenge has been put down onto Thresh, actually, as a fight. A full fight's going to break out. Revolta, he picks up the first kill to Seros. Yang now deep into the back lines, trying to continue their chase on the Detonation FocusMe. So you see Graves jump over the wall, the zaps come out as well. Dragon does go over to the Japanese side, but the Brazilian team picks up the win in the team fight.
Yeah, and once again, Jockstar is the actual MVP of this game. And say what you want about the rest of the team doing their damage. Positioning has been impeccable from Macau. Tokkers has been assassinating people, and the Echo's hitting these stuns. The Thresh is hitting every hook that matters, and then some.
INTZ looked like they wanted to try and capitalize on that team fight, continue pushing in the mid lane, but a couple of spears to Thresh's face going to deny him from continuing that advance. With the team fight, though, they're able to pull back the gold lead slightly, just about 1,000 gold behind Detonation FocusMe. As we approach 30 minutes into the game, that's not going to matter as much anymore.
Yeah, and once again, we're looking at a scaling comp from both of these teams. And this comes back to the original point that we have even been told as well as seen, is that Macau is not the strong point of INTZ. And by putting all of your eggs into this one basket that is the Jinx in that respect, because he has to hold the lane if they split push. Like the Jinx is responsible for a lot of stuff in this game.
A lot of the damage as well.
You compare that to Seros, who's the carry for the team, and that's where they put a lot of their eggs towards in terms of scaling. You expect more consistent performance from the Rise.
INTZ so far able to defuse that in that first team fight we saw this game. They were able to lock down the Rise, take him out before the team fight was over and continue pushing afterwards. But Detonation FocusMe, very slippery team comp here. Not quite efficient to chase them around the map. They're very, very fast champions.
Yeah, and even Azonia's actually going for Seros very shortly, you would imagine. Stacking a bit of armor, but most importantly, having that active means he's going to keep himself alive even longer.
Going to be able to stop the Z death mark if he gets jumped on by the assassin as well.
Yeah, and this is the 1-3-1 time as well. They'll have Rise versus Zed in the top lane, and that means both of them would be non-factors. So the only reason they go up there now is to hit the wave and then disappear and reset. And it's going to be back and forth in that respect for a little while.
Well, this game has really been the 1-3-1 game. As INTZ, you know, just keep 3 members in this mid lane at all times, protecting the Jinx with lots of bodies around them.
As they absolutely have to be doing.
Thresh, Jinx, and Graves just continuing that push in the mid lane. Echo and Zed, you know, just alternating between top lane and bottom lane, trying to pick up kills wherever they possibly can. So far, Zed did a good job of taking down Yutapon, but that's about it that's happened so far during this lane swap. Oh, not lane swap, sorry. The split pushing coming out from these two teams.
Yeah, and the question is, when does it crack? We just got big items now completed for the Rise. The Jinx has
scaling
3.
forever.
Well, you could scale forever if you really wanted to, but it caps at some point.
Eventually, minions become too strong.
Well, they would win eventually, yeah. Does Baron scale with health as well? Like over time, or is it? Because it levels up. I don't know, it gets stronger.
If I'm not mistaken, it scales with levels.
Yeah, but I wonder if it caps.
If I'm not mistaken,
it'd be great if Baron continued to scale, right?
Just forever?
Yeah, forever.
Big purple
so
worm,
like at
it's difficult to
45
take.
minutes, it is so much stronger than it was at like 35 minutes. And then at 60 minutes, you just don't want to bother with it. Because it's just like, it's a monster.
Well, Rift Herald apparently scales from level 1, then just gets progressively weaker. Almost killed a catch a couple of times in this game. You'd have to think that the Big Daddy Baron does the exact opposite.
Oh.
Aggression coming out from this Lucian, pops down the culling, trying to get a pick onto the Jinx, taking a lot of damage. That spear almost connects. Parallel conversions going into the back lines. Detonation FocusMe want to defend this. Rise going to flash in, but a good hook comes in as well. They're trying to lock him down. Zonia's gets put down immediately. Thresh still able to live. Rocket comes out. Will hit catch in the face, but he's relatively healthy. Not going to get taken down. They're still looking for it. Let's see if they continue to chase. INTZ trying to run away. Detonation FocusMe trying to chase. Nobody dies in that fight.
The Dead FM should probably force the Baron because of the health advantages that they have. Nidalee for sustain, Braum for tankiness. And consider a Rise Lucian and the amount of damage that they can do to this. So that's 2 pings in the pit. Fair enough. It's been looked at.
10 auto attacks. Going to be able to take it
on
down.
A different page to the rest of his team.
He's going to tank out the Baron for a little bit. The rest of the team just wants nothing to do with this big purple worm.
They probably could have forced it.
They're looking for this, so ultimate does come out from Zed, able to get really deep onto Nidalee. Trap's going to come down as well. Good flash comes out from Trap. He's going to run away. Catch still getting taken down incredibly low, but once again, sick moves coming up with Detonation FocusMe, able to get away.
Yeah, Catch does super well to live in the cavalry arrives because they did not recall. They even had sidewave control here on the side of DFM, but still, it's like who dares wins. No one wants to do it, but everybody needs to do it at some stage. Defensive items with offensive builds.
Tell you what, you put an E-Gym or a Double Doge in this game, would have been over by now. It would just gone.
Like, no, Jox is doing it. Let's be fair. It's the rest of the team saying don't fight. Like, that guy is hitting everything.
It's like, I got him, I'm going. No, don't do that.
Eternal's just chilling though. Like, he's definitely saying, stand behind me.
Yep, that's exactly what Eternal wants to be doing here. Doesn't quite want to stand behind his team when they take the Baron. They do get spotted out by the Scrying.
Come on, Catch.
Catch is still tanking the Baron.
It hurts.
He's like, team, I want to do this whether you like it or not.
This is the inside track, however. If they can keep them cut off from the mid lane, then they can get more turrets.
They've done a good job so far, able to take that first turret down. Already working on the inhibitor turret. Jinx gets some decent damage down onto it. Can't quite take it down, but INTZ pulling ahead with that 1-3-1.
Yeah, and the slow dance, essentially, of controlling side waves and then pushing down mid lane continues for INTZ. And the Dragon as well.
Looking to try and pick up their first Dragon of the game. They can take this one down, gives them some much needed boost in stats. The actual 6% of magic damage and physical damage boost will help them out tremendously as they take it down, but also delays that Dragon 4 and 5 from DetonatioN.
Yeah, like the priorities from DFM are just so twisted. They start up the Baron, they force themselves to recall a second time in like a minute, and then they give up the Dragon. I just feel like they could have probably looked towards the Dragon as their one primary focus. They switched to the Baron perhaps too soon. At the one time they could have forced it and perhaps gone for a fight, they opt into not doing it. And then they lose the objective for nothing. I don't know.
Confusing.
Yes.
So, DetonatioN, you know, they're still alive, still hanging on in this game. Just not making the right calls, it seems, here against INTZ. Regardless, there's still 1,000 gold ahead.
Like, and the slow-paced game you would feel favors the Brazilian team because it's just what they want to play. For what it's worth, however, like, the team still well and truly can win team fights. Like, DFM are not out of this game. The gold lead does not exist. It doesn't matter because we're hitting a point in the game where everyone has items anyway.
Let's take a quick check at those items really quickly. Jinx already picked up her last Wisp and completed it. Upgraded as well to the Mortal Reminder. Oh, sorry, the... What's it called? Lord Dominic's regards. Sending his regards on over to the Detonation FocusMe.
Yeah.
Nice. On this side of Lucian, no armor penetration just yet. Looking to pick up his Scimitar as soon as possible.
Yeah, but he's doing a lot of damage to the carries, and that's the way Zerost is playing these fights at the moment. He's basically sitting in the front line.
Doubles on his Hourglass for the side of Detonation FocusMe on both their AP carries. One on the Nidalee, one on the Rise as well. We've also actually taken a little bit of damage here. Thresh Hook's going to come out, not going to quite connect onto Catch.
Flirting with danger now, both of these teams. There's a poke battle in the jungle of all places, right near the Baron. But once again, we've alluded to sidewave control. It's in favor of INTZ. So the onus is now on Detonation FocusMe to try and get something done. Well, they run the risk of losing their bottom lane turret in about a minute and a half.
Det FocusMe trying to get towards this turret and take it down here. INTZ trying to force them out, but they're going through a small choke point. In fact, split up Detonation FocusMe. Still able to get there and defend their turret for now.
Yeah, like the split up's fine as long as it's just the Nidalee. But this non-committal playstyle the DFM are using, it still makes sense because they want the Nidalee to poke. They're not even using Lucian Cullings. Like, I just feel like the idea is well and truly there, but the execution is definitely lacking this time around.
Well, definitely lacking. There is none.
Well, yeah. Thank you. I was saying it nicely. They're not doing it.
Yep, they're not doing it.
And that's okay. That's their decision.
They're very happy playing PvE for now, farming it up wherever possible.
I respect their decision. But after the first game of the
I'm a play caster. I want to see some action. Fight, come on.
All I'm saying is after the first game of the day, I don't know what I was expecting for the rest. This feels completely different. So we've gone from casting the wildcard tournament to an LCK, like low-tier game type of thing where the idea, like,
Detonation FocusMe.
I know, that's what I'm getting at. 2 players from Spenu on DFM. Definitely makes sense why they would try and play this style.
INTZ are like, we could be Korean too.
No, they're actually just a split push team as well, right? So whilst DFM are, let's just put that in air quotes. I'm doing that right now. Be Korean. INTZ are just split pushing because that's what they are most comfortable doing. You have to remember, international tournaments, everyone should be comfortable.
It certainly look like it as well. Although it's been, you know, very passive between the two teams, fights break out, everyone tries to disengage wherever possible. And it's going slightly in favor of Detonation FocusMe. It's been INTZ that picked up those picks in that split rotation. They're able to pick up that sneaky turret. The mid lane inner turret was taken down as well. So they're coming out ahead slowly. Just doesn't equate to a gold lead just yet. Liangdo looking for catch, jumps on top of him. Immediately just pounces away, uses the flash to get out of there as well.
Yeah, so that is the flash burnt, so that'll be very annoying, but the split push has actually started, and that's the thing, like we're talking about INTZ as being a split push team, but what they're doing is just controlling side waves, whilst the rest of the map plays out, and then they're rotating the Echo to group, and to me that's just because they need the Echo there. The 3-man of INTZ is never going to be proactive, and if they ever feel like they have an advantage, Zed wants to be the assassin, but Echo also needs to be the tank because that is what they are directly lacking otherwise. They're really good at map movements with the team they have, though.
Well, they're 40 minutes into the game now, so any possible team fight that breaks out, if it goes one side and it's either team's favor, that could be the game. Especially with the inner turret down on the side of Detonation FocusMe, INTZ, they find one good team fight or a good pick coming out in this game.
I heard that, Fish.
That could be good.
I heard the passive-aggressive tone in that. I did hear it.
It's like, fight.
It was subtle and it wasn't really aggressive, but it was like 40 minutes, one team fight could indeed decide the game. And you are right. But they're not team fighting. That's
fight. Come on, flash snare, rise, go.
Too much LPL casting for you, man.
No, too much playing with Frostgrid.
You got to sit down in your chair with your old fashioned.
You know what? This is how I like to play League of Legends, but I'm told I'm not meant to play League of Legends like this. Had a very interesting game the other day. I was just told to jump on people all the time and fight them. I didn't want to do that.
If you could find your E button, it would have made your life a lot easier, Fish.
Apparently.
But these teams, they've definitely got all 4 of their buttons on lock.
I hope they know which one's their jump. Catch obviously does. He's been getting out of sticky situations quite nicely so far.
Yeah, he's a slippery guy.
The entire depth-focused team is, to be honest. They're all
sort of.
They're all running away, getting out of here and there.
Sort of.
Even Yang was able to escape deep inside of their
again,
jungle.
because this, like, their itemization is even scripted towards being defensive. Like,
Yep.
they've all got QSSs as, like, early rush items. They've all got QSSs on the flip side of DFM. Like, there's 2 Zonia's Hourglasses, a Mercurial Scimitar even finished. Like, they've all got the makings of getting out of fights successfully, but when it comes to starting a fight, they've got a Braum who has to hit his Q and follow it up with auto attacks from like a Lucian, which means Lucian's putting his face right in it.
They've got their Quicksilver sashes as well, so the thresh hooks come out. It's like, nah,
exactly.
I don't want this.
Or you've got a Ryze who has to flash engage. So that's the real issue here is like, whilst they're not fighting, how do they fight?
Just run at them.
Well, that's literally what they have to do, right? They have to hit a spear and then just like turn on the turbo. Just like zoom at them with the Ryze ultimate. That's actually what I meant by turbo. I should have said Ryze ultimate.
We just saw then INTZ were able to pick up their second dragon, so further delaying the dragon 4-5 coming up from Detonation FocusMe. In fact, giving INTZ that chance they want to 18 minutes later in this game, could possibly go for a dragon 5. They now seem to have control over these objectives a little bit more than Detonation FocusMe, so taking back the map, cannot do words, taking back the map a little bit.
Okay, let's just take stock of what's happening, because Macau needs to be careful, firstly, but he'll be fine.
He's got 6 items.
Thresh. Yeah, exactly, that's what I was about to say as well. Like, his max build, like, they're not getting much stronger than this, at least in the way of their AD carry, right? And that's who they're looking towards to be the strong member. 445 CS at 42 minutes. Like, he's putting in work. All he's missing is elixirs.
He's going to go down, though, here. Ryze going to jump aggressively. Good hook comes out from Joxer, able to lock him down, but there's the teleport. This could be that first fight. Utaport now looking to try and take down Yang. Pops out a challenge immediately. Turret's going to go down, though. That's not the team fight. Look at this. They're still fighting. Instead of FocusMe, they're going to get turned on now. INTZ trying to take it down. Macau picks up that kill. They get 2 as well. The Zonia's not going to keep you alive, buddy. You will go down as well. Revolta picks that one up. They trade 1 for 2 in that team fight.
They finally get the team fight to start, INTZ. It's on the back of Macau being caught out of position again.
This is aggressive.
As, yeah, hyper aggressive. They needed a 3rd pick. They might be able to break the base from this, but it's a risk. The minions are crashing, and here they go.
And that was a very long team fight there. Turret even going down between, confusing me when I casted that one. But there's that inhibitor turret going down. They will be able to take the inhibitor. And INTZ, they play a very slow and patient game, and it's paid off for them 45 minutes into this match.
Yeah, absolutely is paying off. It's what they want to do. It's a you come to me type of strategy. And finally, DFM engage. We spoke about their lacking engage as well. Like, it's just a flash Rise. That was their initiation. The Rise goes zone is Hourglass as well. So after the engage, he was safe. And that's what extended that fight duration. DFM, though, they're looking.
INTZ trying to take down the Baron here. Revolta really low. Challenge be popped down by Yutapon. Gets played back. Joxer is an absolute monster so far in this thresh. Able to keep his team alive. Gets another hook here onto Eternal. But DetonatioN FocusMe trying to turn around this fight. For now, though, it's only Yutapon that's gone down. That seems like the only kill that's going to take place. Success from DetonatioN FocusMe.
No.
Stop the Baron. Oh, here comes Zeros. Jumps over the wall, gets one. Yang goes down as well. ZFM 5-2 picks for himself.
He's got QSS. Here we go.
Zed's going to jump on top of it. QSS away from the ultimate. Braum going to try and turn it around. Shadow's being popped left, right, and center. Jinx is there to try and stop them advancing. And this is, this is broken down to an action-packed game for now.
Yeah, it definitely has. And that's going to be another couple of picks. For DFM this time around, though, they're able to start up this Baron. 100% going to go down in like 5 seconds flat.
Poor Zeros.
That thing gets destroyed.
He is. Spell rotation slinging out from the Rise here. The Spell Slinger able to help out with taking down that Baron. And that was... Those fights were going in favor of INTZ. They picked up an inhibitor for it. They're still 4,000 gold behind DetonatioN FocusMe.
Yeah, and you can just see how much damage Zeros does once he actually gets into the fights, right? Like Delusion, he's got to be a frontline member. He was a little bit zoned out last time around. This time they do the Baron. They look at the objective more than they do the champions. And they try and get away from the Baron pit. And that's exactly where Zeros shines. And whilst I actually expected him to get a kill sooner, him not getting the kill baited the two people to recalling in a greedy position. Without the turret to protect them. He just walks over and pops a double kill in. Easy Baron, but they still lost their inhibitor. That's the thing, right? So they've traded objectives. And if they can't get more with this Baron, maybe extend the lead further, start breaking the base of INTZ, then effectively, they're ahead. The Brazilian team, I mean.
This is a little bit cheeky. INTZ, Joxer and Volta looking for a hook. Not going to quite get it. Hits the minion set immediately. Det Focus just back off. Cheeky move. Almost
also a
works
nice
off.
spear to actually provide awareness of where he was. He was blind. You can see INTZ were like, clear the vision. There is no vision. How did he do that?
Right now it feels like a game of who's going to hit 6 items first. Young, he's got the only item left to complete is that Quicksilver Sash. Could possibly pick up a Merc Scimitar for himself. Once again, Jinx.
Oh, that spear.
Taking a lot of damage. They really want to take out this AD carry in fights.
So that's, again, this is the way the DFM engage. They engage by not engaging.
Yep, kill the Jinx.
Spear the Jinx, get the Jinx low. The wave clear, so like there's life steal, but it's lacking in the way of only having the Mercurial Scimitar, so it's the base value of life steal. As that was...
Yutapon wants nothing to do with Yang. I'm out, peace, get out.
Yeah, so they're all rotating and they don't have vision. And this is the one thing that the Brazilian team are doing well, is they're flexing between bottom and mid. What Yutapon should be doing is actually being topside, clear out that vision and then flex between top and mid whilst they have the Baron advantage. But he chooses the greedy side of the map because the Dragon is close to being available. Teleports are up for the Fiora.
Dragon is up and
be the
available
fight.
now. INTZ looking to try and push them off of this objective.
Baron doesn't really help for this too much. Only a slight buff in power.
Catch is hitting lots of spears nicely though. Here comes Parallel Convergence into the back lines. Baron will go, actually Dragon will go on to Graves here, but a team fight breaks out. They take it down Thresh already on the side of DetonatioN FocusMe. Rocket picks up a kill. Saros flashes forward but finds nobody with his snare. And INTZ, they get a kill for that fight and pick up the Dragon.
And it's a small detail, but Macau actually getting the kill, gets the passive off, he gets excited, and then when Saros flashes, he's not able to find the target. They get out with that one pick. They get themselves the Dragon. And now they're looking to siege topside because the mid inhibitor is already down.
Okay, I'll stop taking farm. You don't need it anymore.
Don't you tell him what to do, mate.
It's 496 here, still looking for more. Yang, though, going to jump in aggressively. He does get locked down. He's actually going to have to flash away from that. Zeros was chasing really aggressively. Wanted to try and get that last auto attack onto Yang. INTZ can't continue their push.
But again, it's the lack of vision that's actually hurting DetonatioN FocusMe. They flashed forward, Zeros, and as he flashes forward, he doesn't have vision. He has to place a ward, I believe. It was only just placed there. They can't get him.
Still, INTZ naturally able to take down a Nexus turret in the mid lane there.
But the inhibitor is up.
Inhibitor is back up for Detonation
I guess
FocusMe.
it's like Rojo, whatever that said. Don't mind me.
Det FocusMe though, despite all the chaos and being down in terms of kills, they're still up. They're 5,000 gold ahead at INTZ. But I think in a couple of minutes that's not going to matter anymore.
It basically doesn't matter now. You look at like the 70k mark and say, gold's pretty much irrelevant. It's late game team fighting, it's execution. We've been at that point for quite some time. It has been a little bit back and forth with that. But the next fight, with an inhibitor being bare, if INTZ win and it's near the middle of the map, that would be game. DFM on the flip side still need to break the base, and you might have a saving grace fight here. If you were the Brazilian team, you can afford to make small mistakes, not big ones. And this game is like legitimately the weak links of each team carrying. It's like Jinx against Lucian. It's Zeros against Mikal. And every analyst has said that the weakest players on the teams, and they're both carrying.
We can do it, boys. We got this.
Work that one out, analysts.
I don't know. I'm just a play-play guy. Just talk fast. That's all I need to care about and do.
Well, that's a lie. You are a play-by-play.
Yes.
That's not all you care about.
That's true. So far, 50 minutes into this game, 14 kills on the scoreboard. Only a single turret extra going on in favor of INTZ for now. They're going to look to try and make that 2. So they sneakily rotate around towards the inner turret down in the bottom lane, are able to take it down without any contestation coming up from Detonation FocusMe.
And their resolve is to backdoor. That's what we've
That's
come
how we
to.
win.
There's still an open inhibitor. Of course, the minions were pushing for them. That's the real battle that DFM are currently suffering from. And once again, I'm looking at this double teleport saying you might have wanted that one if you were Seros and Udapon. So they could get around the map more effectively. I feel like I'm going to be sounding like a broken record the more I say it. Like, exhaust is necessary into Zed, sure. Didn't really feel like it was, however, based off the way that Tokkers was playing. Teleport could have done a lot more.
Oh, that's a familiar sight.
Catch is just, like, ridiculous.
I don't think it's Mikal is catching them.
Well, Mikal should rename to Catch is definitely something that is worth considering.
Swap names.
Good hands.
Oh, that seems like every single time. Every single time a spear gets thrown out, Jinx is like, yeah, hit me! I want this!
It's like the guy at paintball that puts a target painted on his stomach instead
no.
of wearing a shirt, yeah. Maybe that's just the thing that I have seen. That was weird. Baron as well. 6
items across the board for now. Yang, he's picked up his Merkel's scimitar.
There's
on
still,
Echo.
like, again, so there's still so many options available to the Brazilian team. They're just waiting for a pick to happen.
Yep.
Ryze is the ultimate target that you want to pick. He doesn't have a QSS to get out of any hooks or any stuns. He has the Zonias and the Seraphs, which means that if he's standing and delivering, the team fight is successful. But if he's caught, the game could be ended. And once again, the side wave control is something that they're actively working towards here, namely from Yang. Udapon's got something to say about that, however.
He's got 6 items as well. Completed his wide variety of keep me alive and I want to kill you items.
Also known as bruiser items.
He's got 400.
You could refer to bruisers as keep me alive and I want to kill you. That kind of sums up bruisers.
Yang and Utapon just split pushing. Neither really want to fight each other. Just like, okay, I push the wave, goes back to you, and bounce it back. It's like a game of tennis down on that bottom lane.
There's still a lot of vision actually enabled by INTZ with blue trinkets as well. They haven't been cleared. So the bottom side of the jungle where Echo is, he's actually got 5 wards protecting him that would normally not be there.
Dragon is going to come back up in just about a minute. That would be Dragon 4 for either one of these teams. We've had 6 dragons in this game so far. Pretty long game.
Battle commence.
Since Baron, he's also respawned, so it's possible for either of these teams to take it after a small advantage or a small lead. For now, it's going to be Detonation FocusMe trying to get some vision over on the Baron side of the map and possibly work their way down towards that dragon, which spawns in 25 seconds. Ooh. Almost catching up catch.
You say ooh every time. It's like, oh, you almost caught him, and then he takes the spear for half his health, and you're like, oh, counter ooh. Things are going on. This is actually a very tense moment between both of these teams. A single mistake is the entire game. And it's now really important that they execute well. And this comes down to like the natural checklist of the Baron being available is, do you have vision yourself? Do you have vision of them? And then you make a pick with that vision. You get the game. You get the Baron and the game.
Dragons up. This should go to INTZ. Detonation FocusMe not here to contest for this. That's Dragon 4. 6 minutes. Time is ticking for INTZ now.
Yeah, thankfully those turrets do 20% less damage from here on out with that 4th Dragon buff.
What turrets?
Exactly. Things are going well. It does mean if the game continues for another 6 minutes, then we will have Dragon 5 as a possibility, or at least
then they can run at people.
Or at least a forced fight. That's what I'm saying.
It is possible. We'll have to see what they decide to do next. Baron, like we mentioned earlier, is up on the table for either of these two teams to take. But for now, they're just very content with farming up as much as possible.
Well, whoever is like close can take the wave. That's the point they're at. It's at the moment, it's like give priority to Braum if we can. Because we've got nothing left.
Like, Braum, get your Iceborne Gauntlet in there. Come on. Deal some damage, mate.
Nah.
Put your carry pants on.
Iceborne Gauntlet, come on.
To be fair, he's only missing one item right now.
Yeah, but he kind of wants that slot for pink wards. That's the thing. Like, it's such a like mental battle. He's even got elixirs so that he can keep the pink ward slot.
Oh boy. 6 items across the board for the side of Detonation FocusMe. Only Braum missing his 6th item. INTZ on the other side of the map. Yep, 6 items everywhere as well. Only Joxer missing 1.5 items for now.
This is a weird game.
Everybody is stacked up and ready. This is God mode on Summoner's Rift right now.
It's like kids on those seesaws at parks. Right now, like bouncing back and forth. That's like the, yeah.
It's a game, elaborate game.
But you never
of
know
tennis.
which one's going to jump off and like smash you. Definitely, I keep saying tense. It's definitely still tense.
Oh. One of those spears is just going to take out Jinx one day.
Yeah. All it takes is one mistake or one good play. It all starts with vision again, and neither team really having vision in place because most of them are too full of a build, which means it's just supports battling back and forth to actually secure any vision, and even then it starts to get lacking.
All I want to really see right now is just a mutual agreement between the two teams. Okay, we put Joxer up top. We'll put Eternal up there as well.
What?
Let them farm.
You know what I want to see is Nidalee to sell like her Void Staff and buy a Ruby Sightstone, then place 3 wards, and then recall and buy back the Void Staff. That's what I want to see. That's how you set yourself up for success this late in the game.
Oh,
That's
no.
what I'm talking about.
You know what, though? Macau's trying to do that. He sold his boots. Got rid of them. Got a rapid fire cannon in there with the Mercurial Scimitar.
Yeah, that makes sense, though.
He's so slow, though. Look at that. Woo. Ooh. Can't outrun the spears anymore.
Yeah, look at Jockster. I'll keep you alive.
Jock's just like, okay, I will.
But again, these spears are gnarly. Like, the amount of damage that they're doing could actually just outright win the game. And that's all DFM have. Like, they don't have the Maokai to flash engage. They have a spear followed by a Lucian culling or a flash rise at best. So they're counting on Catch to actually connect with his spells.
I wish I could see how much gold Eternal and Joxer have, because it really feels like you mentioned, Eternal just been sitting on that extra slot for more pink wards.
It's probably closer to, like gold sitting in their kitty.
Yes.
I wouldn't say too much. Support probably only has like 1,500. I was going to say though, like total gold, then probably above 10k. Like everybody is like probably above 20k, honestly, at this point.
Well,
getting close to.
100 more gold for Detonation FocusMe. They'll hit the 100,000 mark. They have pulled the trigger. Teleport coming in for this Baron. This is going to get taken down so quickly. INTZ, they're close by, but might not be able to contest for this. Yang, he's going to try and dive in. Baron should fall down to Detonation FocusMe, but it's taking a little bit of time. Flash comes in for Grace, not quite a steal. Revolta, he's going to have to back out. Yang now opts his ultimate, getting back in towards the team fight, but the fight is fully erupted. Look at Mikau, he's been untouched. Rocket comes out, going to get jumped on eventually, but he's still alive and healthy.
Oh my god,
Firing
Mikau!
rockets, he's gone forward, he gets 1. He's going to try and get 2, but as Zonius gets popped down, there's a challenge for Fiora, not going to be enough. That's 2 for Mikau. He's chasing on. They've taken down 3 members of Detonation FocusMe for now. Still looking for more. Trying to chase down the last 2. The 80 carry support. That's all that's left for Det FocusMe. They have to use them to survive for the next minute.
But all they have is Mikau. And the damage from Tokkus potentially with the ultimate available. I would imagine that they get themselves the inhibitor, but that is one thing to say it and another thing to do it. Braum actually very good at blocking damage. And Zerost is respectable in the amount that he's dealing.
This turret's going to fall so quickly, though.
The Zed has his ultimate. That's the thing. Like, the cooldown on that is ridiculously low. I would imagine this is 2 inhibitors, unless Zerost and Eternal pull out a play.
Eternal actually went to get a Warden's Mail there. He was looking for a fight. No more pink wards for his team. He is the tank now.
But still, the Baron has been taken by DFM Fish.
That's right.
And whilst the inhibitors are down, I don't think it matters too much, honestly.
I think one of the important things right now is the fact that those 2 inhibitors are down. There's only 1 Nexus turret standing for the side of Detonation FocusMe. And with the fact that INTZ will be doing all this split pushing, going to be difficult.
So the only real thing that will sell this game to me is because the Dragon is in 45 seconds or 30 seconds. So if DFM can get the Dragon and get out alive, then they'll be fine. Like, they've got a Rise and a Fiora to wave clear both super minion waves. Like, they'll be perfectly fine to try and weather the storm that INTZ have presented them with. But the Dragon is going to be contested. It's not a free affair for them to just walk in and get. There will most likely be the last fight of this game, potentially.
They're posturing for it. 10 seconds until Dragon comes back up. That spear barely missed the 80 carry this time around. Catch throwing another one. Parallel Convergence going down. Zeros actually has to pop movement speed to get away, but they're flashing forward. They've caught somebody. It's going to be Utapor trying to run away. Does get the extra movement speed from the Mikhails. They try to turn their engage around. Mikhail, once again, left untouched, firing out rockets in the backline, zapping up people. Catch has been caught. Has to use his Zonia's Hourglass. Going to be stuck in the Parallel Convergence. Heals himself up, but there are more rockets. There's the big rocket. Mikhail going forward. Utapor's on him. They took down Mikhail. The 80 carry is gone. And Detonation FocusMe. They turn around the fight. They're looking
so close
to try and take down INTZ. They took out that main carry, and they're 5 men strong. Dragon 5 is up and available for Detonation FocusMe.
No, it'd only be 4.
Oh, no.
They do have to get the Dragon, though, unless they just want to brute force their way through this middle lane. They've got a lot of time without Mikhail and without Jockster. 3 members still alive, though.
They're looking for a Detonation FocusMe.
Be an inhibitor.
50 seconds on Jinx to respawn here. They could definitely try and brute force their way through this base, possibly end it, I feel.
They could at least, if they try to end this as the all-in attempt right now, they have a lot of time. Revolta standing, Yang standing with his ultimate as well, though.
They're going for a catch. He goes in, gets taken down. He's actually going to get taken out so quickly in this fight. Now, it's his INTZ trying to repel them. Yang, he gets locked down, gets taken out. Tokus is exhausted, trying to run away. Goes
oh
back
my god, he's in.
He's on top. He gets one. He took down Illusion, but he goes down. And now, Detonation FocusMe. They're onto the Nexus turret. That final
they can't end.
They can't do it.
They've got minions who are going to win the game top lane if they don't recall.
Oh no, Revolta!
And the Dragon's still available.
Jockster and Revolta able to repel them. Dead FocusMe. They're running away.
So Utapon and Seros literally have to do the Dragon right now. They overstayed their welcome for the Dragon and to try and end the game.
Show us the minions. That top lane turret can't be holding much longer here.
There's no Nexus turrets available, and the jungler is here.
Revolta. They don't spot him. He's going to be able to get over the wall. Goes over. He's just sitting there waiting. He gets it. And they're going to get the hook onto Eternal. Eternal should be falling down here. Oh my goodness. This is a back and forth
That's
game.
game. Like, that has to be absolutely game over. It doesn't matter the 2 people are alive. The minions are literally just going to win top lane by themselves if they don't get there to defend. INTZ are recalling. Okay, it's not game.
It's not game yet, ladies
What are you
and gentlemen.
doing?
INTZ. That's only a Nexus. That is all that is left with Detonation FocusMe. And they're missing the 80 carrier support right now. This game has gone from the slowest paced match to the most nail-biting finish ever.
Oh my god. This is actually really, like, INTZ with Dragon 5 should be able to close this game out, but there are 4 people standing. Only the Braum down for another 25 seconds.
He even sold his Warden's Mail to pick up some more wards, I believe.
Yeah, but that's a long time, right? Like, this is... They could just walk in and hit the Nexus.
And that's what INTZ are trying to do to have that Dragon number 5. Detonation FocusMe. Need to put up a fight. Get a lot of damage on the Jockster. There's the Culling as well. Trying to repel them even more. Parallel Convergence. Doesn't find anyone in the lockdown. Slowly, INTZ waiting for their minions.
And
they have
Braum's
Dragon
up.
5. They can be a little bit more passive here. As another Parallel Convergence will come out. looking for more, but like you mentioned, here's Eternal, puts down the shield. Catch takes a lot of damage here. He might actually be caught out. They're looking for him, trying to cut him up from the base, but they're nearly a little bit too quick.
Remember, the Nexus is bare. Oh, the flash is in.
They go in onto Jinx, immediately flashes back out. Hooks are not going to land. This is a tug-of-war fight between DetonatioN FocusMe and INTZ.
The top lane inhibitor is up. That means the mid lane inhibitor is 20-odd seconds away. INTZ missing so much health that I am not sure they can even take an inhibitor right now.
Or they're looking to cheap chasing here. Utapon dashing aggressively forward. Jinx trying to put down as much damage as possible.
How can a team with 5 dragons and a Jinx not get a pick with a Thresh hook? Everything is back to standard. We're at square one at 63 minutes in the game. We're even.
And Baron is going to be coming back up in 25 seconds. With all the inhibitors back up for DetonatioN FocusMe, they've got a little bit of saving grace, but no Nexus turrets. One small misstep and INTZ just walk into your base. But the same thing goes for INTZ. They only have one Nexus turret left.
When you draft yourself into situations where you want to take it late game and both teams do the exact same thing, this is what happens. Nobody can end, but everybody can wave clear and just sit back and let it happen.
Brom's got the right idea. He picked up a Zerat portal, put it down up in the top lane. He wants to make sure that wave pushes out. Baron
should have put it bottom.
Has respawned.
He actually should have put the portal bottom. As good as it is that top's pushing, bottom's going to become a big wave. It'll probably actually threaten, so Utapon will be down there. Because he'll have to probably clear that and then teleport in. It's very delicate right now.
They're still playing this battle of tennis, it feels. The tug of war, you know, just jockeying for position, playing a game of footsies for now. Seeing who can get the jump on who first.
610 CS for Jinx, that says everything.
Yep, it sums it up.
We're so far past 6 items that if we could have 8, we would. But we can't. So I don't know what they're going to do with all of this gold.
Even Lucian, he sold his boots now. He's like, yep, I've got 6 full damage items now. I'm going to run really slow, but I'm still going to get there. Eventually, FocusMe looking to try
Look at the
and push.
bottom lane minions, though. Again, Utapon, I'm sure they've realized that he needs to recall, but he hasn't.
Actually, Lucian. Oh, is that Catch? It's going to be Catch. Catch split up from the team for now.
Like, I'm actually sold on those minions potentially breaking the turret.
FocusMe, they're going to get the wraparound. They're going to find him. Saros trying to speed in towards his way. Joxer doesn't land a hook. They caught the Thresh. The Thresh is going to take a lot of damage, but here comes Yang going into the front of the fight. Once again, Utapon taking a lot of damage from the backlines. The Rockets doing some work for the side of INTZ now. Yang, get a dive in. Put an exhaust on the Joxer. Saros, he's going to drop low. The turret's actually going to fall with that bottom lane during the time. Hook going to land on Rise. Host's on his Hourglass, but he's low. Has to try and run away. They're going to kill INTZ, but it's not going to be enough. There goes the Jinx. He runs into the fight. Picks up 2 kills here, but it's still 2 for 2 for now. Eventually, Utapon falls out as well. Only the jungler and the support are alive for DetonatioN FocusMe.
But there's only 2 alive for INTZ as well. That's Revolta and Macau. They've got a minion wave stack that I've alluded towards in the bottom lane. It's broken the turret. That could be 3 inhibitors at the very least down. But remember that the Nexus is bare. Catch needs to be careful. Surely this will be game because the damage is not there for DetonatioN FocusMe. Yeah, that is it.
They've got to try something, and that's what Eternal and Catch are going to do. Spear does come out, but they're playing it very safe. Thresh, it's not going to be enough. No, Thresh is dead. That's the Jinx. He gets 2. They take down the Nexus. And after a grueling 67-minute game, it is INTZ that pick up the ace and pick up the win as well. What a fantastic game. What a long game as well between these 2 teams.
Yeah, look, it was a pretty long game. It was, yeah, look, I don't have many words to describe that game. Neither team really had the tools to win. It came down to a team fight. It came down to a 5th dragon, still not ended the game. There was like 3 barons that took place, and it was super back and forth because no team actually drafted themselves in a position to just outright walk over the other with any kind of advantage. They built defensively. They picked reasonably defensively. No actual engage. There's no Maokai, no Nautilus. And at the end, it just came down to who team fought better and execution. And even then, it was who team fought better the 5th time because the first 4 didn't matter.
And you know what? Everything we talked about at the start of the game, you know, just throw it out the window. That's gone. That game was just a treaty between the 2 teams. They're like, yep, we're going to farm until everybody has 6 items and we have to sell our boots and then we fight. That's what they did. That sums up the game, I believe.
Look, I don't know if we call that one a treaty. They definitely had like a 20-minute pact where it was like, we'll just farm, we'll lane swap until the 20-minute mark. And from that point on, nothing else matters. We're just going to fight each other. But to actually fight each other, like 3 QSSs, early rush from INTZ, defensive items rushed from Detonation FocusMe, and it was a battle of people hitting each other and then disengaging, and then like poking each other with max range. They were essentially playing around the rapid-fire cannon of Jinx. And like that is what won them the game in the end, to be fair. But all things considered, that took them so long to do it.
And it was just one team fight at the end as well where we saw Jinx was caught out, got taken down, and FocusMe is like, that's it. They're going to walk towards the base. They can't do anything about this. And they were still able to hold on. INTZ defend that final Nexus turret and make the comeback, so to speak.
And this is a simple concept, but it's something that was not done by Detonation FocusMe. Control your side waves. Control side lanes. That Zizarot portal probably could have been earlier.
Yep, definitely could have been coming up from Brom. And we saw supports with 6 items today, and that was a 66-minute long game between Detonation FocusMe and INTZ. INTZ come out on top, but we're going to go to a quick break before we come back with our next game of the day. Don't go anywhere.